There exist stories in history that are told to provide us with a narrative that allows us to understand ideas that could help bring forth the best of ourselves into the world. And one is of Prometheus. A Greek god, he became frustrated with the hoarding of fire and knowing the value of possibility that brought to humanity. And he voluntarily chose the sacred sacrifice. He traveled to the top of Mount Olympus and took the fire and brought it back to humanity. From this fire, humanity was able to evolve, grow, expand, develop the societies that we now see today. But with this came vulnerability. With this came the potential for being punished for showing others the true possibility that exists in life. And the gods sentenced him to eternal punishment, where each day an eagle would peck at his stomach and rip out his liver. And he would then heal that night and have to experience the same struggle the next day. And this message is here to say that when we choose to stand for what's good, when we choose to develop ourselves, and when we choose to express our best, we are always going to be vulnerable to the potential dangers in life. The potential for suffering is there. But maybe there's no higher meaning for any life than bringing forth the idea of possibility and sharing it with others. What's a mountain that you can climb, find something of value, and then bring back and share with us? We all have it in us, everyone. Ultimate Pill Podcast, Mindset Monday 5-0. Let's go, let's go. I'm honored to be able to record the 50th Mindset Monday, created by this idea that is the ultimate pill. And today I think it's important to talk a little bit about vulnerability, its benefit, its misuse, but ultimately what we need to embody in order to take that vulnerability and realize its specialness for our lives. Yes, sir. My name's Chris, co-host, Anthony, co-host, and we're just really excited for everything that's happening. Finished up episode 54. Really fun show talking about what the highest good could potentially look like, and is there just a unifying principle that has all these subset ideas or these sub ideas that ultimately lead to the same thing? The source of the stream comes from the same place type of idea, I guess. But when that's found, when that's realized, really, it puts us in a position to where vulnerability is going to have to be accepted. And that vulnerability comes from what I want to talk about a little bit tonight, is the ability to be vulnerable with ourselves. Because in that show, yes, we talked a lot about the importance of being vulnerable with others, and what we were alluding to was authentic self-expression, knowing what you stand for, and that's your meaning, your value, and belief. And then voluntarily choosing to behave that out in the world, regardless of the context you're in. That's tough. It's tough. It's real easy to unconsciously fall into an environment and become a part of something that may not align with what you really are. And we all feel that. And when we're on this type of journey of self-realization and personal growth and self-understanding, you start feeling a tinge inside of you when you don't act in accordance with what you really are. It hits you, man. It's like, it's like a little voice that comes in and says, you know darn well that that's not what you really meant. And those don't feel good. And I think that's what like really frustrates people when they go on these paths, is like there's so many external variables that could interfere with what we are looking to accomplish with our life that can become overly frustrating to where we finally say, you know what, whatever, dude, what's the freaking point? But the point is that your life matters and it's worth something. And we're all here for a reason. And acting that out and bringing that forth and creating that in our lives is going to require a massive amount of vulnerability. But tonight, let's riff a little bit on, hey, being true with yourself, man, and being vulnerable with yourself and being dead honest. Because Anthony started, rapping on an idea in episode 54, and I just knowing him, I'm like, dang, this dude's been like this forever. Just a very authentic guy, always expressing his truth, like having his moments to where he deviated, but the idea was always there. And then that came from when I asked him, do you think people can feel when you're being inauthentic? And we all can. We all know when someone's being fake. We all know when they're not being true. And what's most interesting is seeing people's personas change in different environments. Like a personality shift in one environment to the next is super confusing to people. I think it unconsciously interferes with the development of trust, which is the most important variable in any relationship. So that authenticity and the ability to feel safe and know that what you are expressing in the moment is true, that's a really important thing to consider. So for me, he was talking about authenticity and how you feel it and you know it. And I got to thinking, I even wrote it down in the show. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to say it, but I'm going to read it verbatim and then just talk about it. I said, for years, I never knew what authentic was because I was being inauthentic. For years, I was not being authentic to what I really am. And because of that, I was so dependent on people's external approval for my sense of satisfaction. It's like I'm not even authentic to myself. So hopefully they at least think I'm being authentic. But man, if they're not, or they're not resonating with me, or this isn't going exactly how I thought it would, I started to get this like little angst, and I feel like I'd curl up in a little ball and be, oh no. I stopped doing that. And I just said, dude, accept yourself for who you are, commit to the highest good, devote yourself to supporting life, do everything that you can in every moment to be a good person. And when you slip up, self-correct, have the awareness to know that that wasn't exactly true to what you were, and then get back on the track. So if you want to talk about feeling the sense of vulnerability, find something that you've overcome, that you've processed through, and then think about how much vulnerability it took to make that positive change manifest in your life. It's there. That angst that we say, well, what if it doesn't work? Or what are people going to think? Or all these different self-limiting beliefs that start flooding our minds like little pricks from a cactus, just poking at our minds, like constantly interfering with our own mental and emotional health. It's being able to voluntarily choose to behave in a way that limits their influence. And this develops what we talked about on the show, is the will to live, the literal will to live. It sits in a region of our brain that is largest in people that perform well, have a sense of well-being, and a high level of life satisfaction, and it's much smaller coming from the science in people with obesity, people with addiction, people suffering from depression. And I just got so much utility in knowing that if you voluntarily do these hard things, it grows something in your brain that allows you to do hard things better next time. What a freaking awesome piece of information that I hope can help you out. But here's the really cool thing that we did on that show is we talked about how we can do that by being authentic self-expressions of what we truly are. And listen to all the episodes leading up to this, and that will help you do that. You'll know who you are. You'll stand firm in what you mean to other people, not what things mean to you. No. That's also a high level of vulnerability, being able to say, no, what matters most is what I mean to other people in this moment or in my life or in this profession or in this anything. Like, what do I mean to them? Am I good or am I bad? Am I healthy? Am I unhealthy? And we're talking to them. That takes vulnerability, a huge level of vulnerability. So what we were able to talk about is you can do that on the day-to-day. Picking up that piece of trash when you don't want to, boom, that's what you truly are. Little brain growth, little neuroplasticity going on. And then maybe that moment where tragedy strikes or hardship falls upon you, you'll have developed that will to live that allows you to contend with that with courage, truth, and love. This can be applied to someone who's sitting in a hospital bed or someone performing on a football field. There's always something that can reveal possibility in our lives, and that's what Prometheus did, and that's what these stories tell us. They all come from something of the highest nature, the highest good, the highest anything that you can imagine. And they come down in narrative form, and they're here to teach. And what that story taught me is I am okay with putting myself in a vulnerable position with this life if it entails the potential finding of possibility that could bring value to humanity. And we can all do that where we're at, wherever we're doing. Small little things done on a day-to-day basis that fortify your ability to be the best you, because you know what the best you looks like. And then you act it out. Day by day. Mindset Monday 50. I think that'll do it. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. I hope it's an exciting week for you. Journey out there into the wide world and try to find something new every single day. Try to find some new experience every single day. And that'll keep you exposed to opportunities to voluntarily choose to bring forth your truth and develop your will to live. Let's go. Mindset Monday 50. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the Spotify channel. Subscribe to the Apple channel. Subscribe to the Amazon channel. Subscribe to Instagram, Ultimate Pill. Subscribe to TikTok. We're even on there now. Ultimate Pill Podcast. We really love creating this show. And we hope that our love brings value to your life. God bless y'all.